All software does not necessarily disappear when its creators move on. Something more difficult happens. The program survives, but the knowledge required to understand, maintain, or rebuild it gradually dies. Project Damocles asks whether that lost knowledge can be recovered systematically. CR1, or Credibility Release 1, is my first complete answer. CR1 is not a collection of disconnected experiments. It is one continuous 1,686 step journey through the recovered state office. The route begins on the ground floor, travels through the first and second floors, descends into the basement and returns to ground. It exercises recovered rooms, doors, lifts, collision and resident objects. It also collects the Damocles file, which is object 151, and proves that this change persists when we eventually return. We are no longer merely drawing recovered geometry. We have reconstructed a functioning, stateful part of the original world. Looking approximately correct is not enough. A convincing limitation could still be fundamentally wrong. The complete route is preserved as an ordered input sequence and executed through both our TypeScript and native implementations. 29 checkpoints agree throughout the journey. Both implementations reach the same final state and replay identity, and all 74 automated tests then pass. The hashes shown here are not decorative. They allow us to prove the same recovered rules repeatedly produce the same result. This is how we separate recovered behaviour from assumption. The recovered system has now been packaged as a standalone Windows x64 evaluator. It verifies its own checksums, runs its own self-test, and includes the evidence connecting its behaviour to the original system. An authorised reviewer can run it without our source tree, specialist development tools, or original hardware. That makes CR1 independently examinable. A reviewer does not simply have to trust our presentation or our conclusions. And this is the important threshold. We have not finished recreating the entire game, and that was never the purpose of CR1. We have demonstrated an end-to-end method for recovering a representative part of an undocumented proprietary system and rebuilding it as verifiable modern software. That distinction matters commercially. Valuable intellectual property can become stranded when its original source, tools, and institutional knowledge are lost. If we can recover the operating knowledge, we can replace uncertainty with evidence and make preservation, migration, or remastering a decision that can be properly costed. So, I'd like to finish by showing you what that recovery has produced. This is Damocles CR1. What you're seeing now is not the original game running under emulation. It's not a recording, a visual mock-up, or a scripted animation. This is a newly built Windows x64 executable running natively on a modern PC. Its behaviour has been recreated from our recovered understanding of the original 68,000 system. The evaluator is now executing the preserved 1,686 step CR1 route. As it moves through the state office, it constructs the appropriate rooms from recovered original data and applies the recovered activation and collision rules. The doors and lift are not scenery. They are working, stateful mechanisms. The journey travels from ground to first, second, and basement before returning to ground again. During the route, object 151, the Damocles file, is collected. When we return, it remains collected. The reconstructed world remembers what happened. At the end of the journey, the evaluator checks the resulting state against the accepted evidence. The executable is important because it demonstrates something beyond preservation. Emulation can keep an old program running, but it does not necessarily restore our ability to understand, test, change, or rebuild it. Here, the knowledge itself has been recovered. Damocles CR1 is old software understood again, and from that understanding, it is made new. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I hope you found it interesting. If you're responsible for an older game, engine, or software system whose original knowledge has been lost, I would be interested in hearing from you. Project Damocles is now available for technical discussion, feasibility inquiries, and carefully selected recovery work. Contact details are, of course, in the description. Thank you so much.